Hi, good evening. Good evening, and welcome to this class. See me, let me know in the comments. If you can hear me, let me know. Yeah. So welcome to this class. My name is Uloma Ashu, fondly called the Green Conscious Mama. Some of you know me and some of you don't. I had to do this because I know I have a lot of information inside me. I haven't been really teaching for a while. When I went into full-time business, uh, I mean product business, buying and selling. But these are things I know and have been working for me in my business. So I thought to create an opportunity like this to share with people, because people come to me in my DM to say, how can we do this differently? The times are hard, the economy is down, there's recession and all and all. So I thought to have this class. So you're welcome again. And what we're talking about is keeping the business sustainable in times of uncertainty. So I don't want to waste our time, but I'd like to start by saying that in critical times, it is very important that businesses begin to, you know, change strategies. You cannot do things the old way, keep complaining and then expecting a different result. And in times like this, sustainability and its strategies is something that can help every business weather the storm. And that's the truth, because sustainability is all about consciousness, doing business consciously. Sustainability is about, being intentional about the things that you do in a way that you are on top of your choices, you're making the right decision, you're making the right choices, you know, you're taking the right strategy as it appears at that time. So I don't want to bore you a lot. I just want us to keep this thing straight. So just relax and keep your ears open. I believe you will take away one or two something from this strategy. Some of you may know some of the strategies. Some of you already even implemented them, but you may not have come to the consciousness of these strategies that I'm going to share with you today. They are not all of it, but I have outlined some to share with you so that you know that these are things you can incorporate into your business more consciously. So it doesn't just happen one off. It's something that now happens continuously as part of the business. So I'd like to start by asking, how many of you even read the news? How many of you know what's happening? I come online sometimes, I get some messages sometimes, people are complaining, the economy is bad, what is going on, our leaders are not working. But you see, it's important that you know where we are. Currently, there is trouble. I'm not saying this to scare you, but I'm actually speaking from a point of knowing. I'm speaking from a point of knowledge. So I am not feeling pressured. The only thing on my head is how can I adapt? How can I mitigate some things? So it is important that you know what is happening. The world is actually experiencing inflation. The world is experiencing a recession globally across every continent in the world. So it's important that you know that it is not peculiar to your region, it's not peculiar to your nation, it's a global issue. Across the world, everyone is experiencing economic downtime. But unfortunately, for economies that are not so developed, or economies that are import based, they feel the pressure of these things more. So, as a business owner, it is important that you know what is happening. So, I wanted to start from there, that you know what is happening. It's important that you know the news. It's important that you know And then you're able to say, how does this thing affect my business? How does this thing impact my business? For instance, few weeks ago, I got a message and it was on the news. A particular supplier of ours had sent me a message telling me they had just lost their farmland worth over $25 million to flood. When I got that report and I saw it on the news, I called my husband and I said, we need to do this right now. We need to stock up on this particular product. Anywhere we can get, we need to stock up because this is going to impact on the market almost immediately. And that was what we did. We put our resources together, every cash flow, and we diverted every cash flow into stocking a particular product that this particular supplier will supply us and also supply other people. And that was a quick win for us because we knew what was happening. By the time we got the information, we knew we needed to stock up on that particular product. So we called other people who supply similar products and said, I need this in these numbers of quantity of that. And it helped us because just a few days after then, prices began to skyrocket because imagine losing a farmland worth over $25 million. Imagine what that would happen, especially even now that is the festive season. So I want to bring that to your consciousness that it's important that you know what is happening. It's important you know what the news is. So welcome. You can leave your, as you listen, you can leave your questions in the comments. You can like this video. You can subscribe if you are not subscribed yet. So I don't want us to waste more time, but thank you so much for joining me on this live class. And I hopefully will get to do this a whole lot often. So that's that. So I want us to go on and look at some areas you can begin to adapt sustainable strategies in your business. Let's start with your product or your service offering. Right now, the times are different. So you cannot continue the old way. You cannot continue how you have always been. You need to look at your product offering and look at your process. You also need to look at your packaging. You also need to look at your profitability. So basically, it's about assessing your business as a whole. That's a good place to start. That is why I love it when people look at themselves and say, oh, I think there is a problem, because that's a good place to start. So look at your business, look at your product or your service offering. Ask yourself, what can we do different? Times have changed. Should we adjust our kind of product? Should we source for more affordable alternative? Should we change suppliers? Should we look for suppliers who are within the continent or not too far away so we cannot be overly dependent on, on foreign exchange? Because a lot of businesses right now are into import business. Take Nigeria, for instance, the consuming nation, mostly dependent on import. I feel for a lot of businesses who do a lot of import because right now you have to look for foreign currencies to buy products, maybe to make your own final product or to import products so that you sell. So I'm talking about businesses that are import-based and product-based, and also businesses who even do services. For instance, some businesses who do services, you have to pay in foreign currencies, maybe for your adverts, for your online marketing tools and all of that. So you have to look inward. What can we do differently? So it's better you start with your product offering. Ask yourself, should we readjust? Start with that. Yes, we only sell this thing in this category, but this is a good time to probably, introduce maybe a lesser category. Create another market, because when times are down, new markets also emerge. That's the truth. New markets also emerge. People now come in to say, oh, I can't afford it on this level anymore. Inflation is so high. My disposable income has been affected. So I want to look for something less. It happened to us because one thing I told our staff to do is when customers come to ask for any product we don't sell, write it down, keep it somewhere in a book. And I would ask for a report of it from time to time. Sometimes I don't even ask. They have to tell me customers are asking this. So for instance, imagine selling a very popular food seasoning that everybody would want to, you would think everybody would want to use because of the brand name and maybe the perceived quality of that brand. And it was shocking in a way, but I accepted it because lately Most of my customers don't even buy that particular brand anymore that we thought everyone would want. They have gone for something less expensive because they tell you, if this is what I would use it for, it's for the seasoning. If this particular one is now too expensive, I can actually also season my food with this one, and it doesn't make any difference. It's not about the season, it's even about me who's making the meal. So we realized that we don't have to continue, overstocking a particular brand. We would still stock it because people would ask for it, but we knew that right now this was the one that was selling out. So we need to focus more of our resources on that particular one. So you need to check your product offering. Check your service offering. Is it meeting the present time demand? That's the word. Is it meeting the present time demand? My product offering or my service offering, is it meeting the present time demand? What am I putting out to my customers? If you need to run a survey, it's very important that you do that. A few weeks ago, I saw on the news that the purchase of disposable diapers for babies, the market had actually dropped. Parents are lamenting that the cost of diaper has gone up. Husbands are complaining that they don't understand how come they spend so much than they used to do, spend previously on diaper, because the prices have gone up. Most of these things are imported. But I don't play in that sector. But guess what I started thinking? How about people who sell these diapers who now begin to consider reusable options? You would introduce reusable options in your market or in your store, in your online or offline store, and then allow your customers the opportunity to try them out. Maybe if they haven't before, or even if they haven't even started asking. But it's an opportunity, because the times are down. People have lesser disposable income now. Inflation has taken over their money. So if you tell them this reusable option, even if you don't use it, you can use a disposable one in the day. At night, you can use the reusable one and wash it. So over a period of 1 month, you would have helped that customer, save some resources on disposable diapers. And before long, they may even just automatically make a permanent shift and not use disposable again. So as a business owner, it's important that you make this adjustment to your products and services. As a service-based business, sit down, look at your books. What product are you putting out there? Is that what customers want to buy now? So I had to buttress that. That is very important. Look at your packaging. Can you repackage your offerings? Can you repackage your products? Can you reduce it? Some products, you buy them now, you have to take off maybe 5 or 6 packaging. Yes, it looks beautiful, but at the end of the day, these things affect your bottom line. It affects your profitability. And it is critical that you look at these things, and make the adjustment. Make the adjustment in your business processes, in your process, yes, in your operation. You need to make adjustment. If you run your gen for 24 hours before, when the cost of diesel was okay, and you probably had budgeted for the year that this is how much you could spend on diesel, and also that have affected or influenced how your price has been set. A lot of things have changed. The cost of diesel have skyrocketed, and you cannot continue that way and say, oh, because I need to make my business space look like it, I will continually run my generator for 12 hours. It's not possible. You will need to make the readjustment. You will need to make the readjustment. You will need to make, consider other alternatives, like what can I do differently. So you need to make adjustments across your business, even your pricing. You can check your pricing. Most people are afraid to raise prices, but it is good that you inform your customers, because prices have changed, so you cannot keep up with the old price. It is very important that at least put out a notice, even if it's a 1-week notice, prompting them ahead of time that at so time, maybe on the first of a particular month, prices will now become this. It's important that you do that. Don't be afraid to change prices, because the time also calls for that. You are buying your resources more. You're buying your resources that you use for your input more expensive. So don't be afraid to change or raise your prices in terms of the product offering or even your services being rendered. So look at all of these areas and make necessary adjustments. Sit with your books. It's not enough to ask your salesperson, how much are we selling? It's not enough to ask your salesperson, how much did we make today? You need to know how all of this translates into your bottom line, into your profitability. You need to make sure, you are getting things right so that you don't just appear one day and then the business is gone. Right now, it's all about, keeping the business, keeping the face of the business, above the water level. So that's very critical. I had to start with that. So now let's go on to the strategies that can, I want to be very direct. I don't want to, make it use some high jargons. Let me just make it as simple as possible. So we have talked about readjusting your product and your service offering. And then as a business owner, you may also need to add some diversification. Even though we have talked about, other readjusting, all of those things, but you also may need to make some diversification. Maybe an added service, maybe a complementary business product that you were not doing before. All of this is so that you don't leave any money on the table for your business. Every business needs cash flow. If there is something, if there's a service or there's a product that you think you can add to what you're currently offering, it's important that you introduce it into your business right now. You already have customers who would ask about one or two services a few times or product. So this is a good time to, embrace those new trends and adapt to the changes. Don't stay with the old. So if you don't take anything from this point, know that it is okay to have a shift. It's okay, especially in these very trying times. So also, another thing you can do is what I call comparative negotiation. As a business owner, spread your wings. Spread your wings. Spread your wings. How do I mean? Don't limit yourself to maybe to one supplier. Don't limit yourself to two suppliers. Have a pool. Be sure that every product or every input or every service or every whatever it is you're paying for as a business, be certain, be sure that you are doing it in a way that is, cost effective for your business. Yes. So be conscious of that. Don't close transactions immediately. Let it become your consciousness to say, let's find out what would this supplier offer for the same service or the same product. Let's find out what would this other one. Yes, these are suppliers that you have in your pool. So from time to time, you will learn to, make that part of your business culture to always, do comparison while negotiating. It is always good that you do that. You'll be surprised that you may think that, the cost value may just be maybe 20 naira per one. But if you do that over 5, over 15, over 20 every week, you'll be amazed at what it will sum up to, at the end of the month. So negotiate in a cooperative way. Have a pool of suppliers for everything. It doesn't matter. Have a pool of suppliers for every product or for every service. Don't limit yourself to a particular supplier and say, oh, if it's not this one, I will not buy. No. I had shared this today online, and I also want to say it here, how as a business, one of our businesses, we have saved ourselves some cost. There's a particular product we sell as a complementary product. It's not a fast selling product in our business. And we were going to make purchase recently because we ran out of stock, or we had very low stock at that time, and it was time to restock. But we didn't want to buy so much of it because at this time we understand that our resources should be diverted towards products that will give us immediate and even higher returns that we can even turn over, within the shortest possible time. So we reached out to the first supplier and he said, no, if you're not buying this particular quantity, which is required, and will also give you the opportunity to enjoy distributorship rate, we will not sell to you. it was devastating. But thank God that we already had a pool of suppliers. So we reached out to another supplier. That one said, okay, I will give you for this quantity. We wanted 100, but the minimum across board is 200. This one says, okay, I understand you want 100, but can you come up to 150? But this is what you will pay. And he added an extra, maybe like $1 on each, or on each that we're going to buy. So that's going to be like the $200. I'm just using dollar for instance on the whole 100 we'll have to buy. And then we finally found someone who was ready to meet us at our level, to give us the 100 and at the same rate of the distributorship. So you may ask, how does this, what's the difference? The extra money or cash flow we would have invested in buying 200 worth of that product, we had diverted it to this other product we wanted to buy that is a fast seller. So this helped us increase, our purchase quantity for the one that's a fast seller. Because this is not a good time to leave money anywhere. Put it where it can be translated into where it can translate into more returns or profitability for your business. So it is important that you know how to negotiate in a comparative way. Don't still be static. As a business person, be dynamic. That's one of the best things that can happen to any business person. Be dynamic. Don't say, this is how we have always done it. No, I don't find myself in that place. I am continuously, because innovation is continuous. It doesn't stop. Even the applications we use today on our devices, you come up one morning and you realize you can't access it. They're probably working on it. They're probably, adjusting the algorithm and all of that. So if applications that you're using can do that, as a business, learn to do that too. When it's time, know that it's time to make those changes. So that is that. Then I also like to talk about collaboration. This is a good time for collaboration. I know, especially in Africa, people like to have things tied to their name to believe, I'm the CEO, I'm the founder, no. Collaboration is key. It's a powerful strategy, especially even in these times. Don't stay with your title and kill your business. Don't stay with your title and kill your business. Don't stay with your title and because you want to, you feel like, I can do it all by myself. No, you need to collaborate. If you are not doing that, find ways around your business where you can collaborate. For instance, someone who has an online store can collaborate with someone who has a physical store. Have that relationship to say, okay, this is at the rate at which you will give me. I will have my online store, and when people make demand, I will pick from your business location or ask that it is being sent from your location. So you see, this one who has an online store will not need to pay for space, will not need to set up and put a lot of staff and all of that in the place for the business to go on. So it's important that you know that in this time, if you were not collaborating before, look at your business. You may want to collaborate with someone who complements what you're doing. You may want to collaborate with someone who is also doing what you're doing. There is always a good place for collaboration. And it doesn't have to be, people are too competitive. People feel like they think everything is competition. But one of the best ways to win is to know where to collaborate. And in times like this, collaboration is key. And you may ask, collaboration can just even simply mean renting someone else's machine or renting someone else's space when you have something to do. You don't need to say, I have to go and have my own. I have to go and buy my own. Focus your resources. Later, focus your resources on the things that will translate into, more cash flow, more profitability, and more impact for your business. So you don't need to limit yourself to say, I have to have every of these things, all these appliances, these machines, this and all of that. No, find a good place for collaboration. So it's very important that you do that at this time if you have to. If you have an office space and you feel like you're paying so much, create an opportunity for someone else to come and share the space with you. Think about someone who has maybe a salon and it looks like, I'm not enjoying traffic at this time. What if you collaborate with someone who has a hairdressing store, and they decide to say, okay, we can be in the same place, or we can have referrals from one another's contact, to, and if they buy from me, you're going to get this percentage, or if your customers come, they will enjoy this discount and all of that. So you just find out there's a way you can rub off on one another. Just find that place, whatever your business is. If you have questions, you can ask me in the comment section. So let's go on. I also want to bring to your consciousness that you can strengthen your customer relationship more than ever before now. So that's one strategy. Your customers are very important to your business. Like they say, customers are king. You cannot afford to lose your customers. I tell some of our staff that no customer should leave here unhappy. No customer should leave here unattended to. No customer should leave here displeased. No customer should leave here without being properly, serviced. It is very important that you strengthen your customer relationship even at this time. Customers buy into emotions, not even about what you sell. There are 1,000,001 people who do the same thing and will be ready to bring to them. So don't lose your customer at this time. Have conversations with them, reach out to them. You can put a call to them. You can hear from them, ask them what they want. And while you're strengthening your customer relationship, you can build packages for them, different segments of packages. You can, just find a way, strengthen your relationship, even through loyalty programs, and all of that. Just find a way, be concerned about their welfare, be concerned about how they are doing. Find a way to strengthen customer relationship. Don't be too transactional at this time. If you were before, this is a good time to become more relational with your customers. I see a lot of business owners being too transactional. All they want to do is just take the money and move on. Take the money and move on. But they forget that most businesses that are successful are built on patronages from retained customers. Your customers are your best referrers, are your best, marketers. Many may not even tell you, but they will refer people to you. So it's very important that you strengthen your relationship with your customers. Send them messages, find out how they are doing. It's important that you know who is buying your product. And you see, as a sustainability strategist, one of the problems we have in the world today is a lot of businesses are just concerned about their profitability. They are not even concerned about how their products are actually impacting on their consumers. But take, for instance, they don't even care. All they want to know is how it translates into money for them at the end of the day. But it's important that you build that relationship with your customers. Don't be too transactional. Everything is not about the money. That one customer has the ability to refer 100 more to you. In short, that one customer can put out a word on a platform, and before you know, you have made many sales. So it's important that you do that. And then I also want to talk about another strategy. Reduce your waste, cut your cost. Cut your costs, reduce your waste. As a business, ensure you're not wasting resources anywhere. If you need to digitalize your process, if you need to introduce technology, if you need to, you can tell your customers we don't want to even give people receipt anymore because we want to have a relationship with you. Every time you purchase from us, we want to send you your receipt via WhatsApp message. You tell the customer the importance to even help you keep a proper record of the things you are buying. Let them see it from a positive angle. Reduce your waste. A lot of businesses are wasteful. I won't tell you a lie. I have encountered so many in the course of consultation. A lot of businesses are wasteful. I know they tell you it's for packaging. It's for packaging. But you see, what is the essence of packaging if at the end of the day your business is not doing well? I know of a lady who had received a grant of about 500,000 naira, to help her small catering business. Guess what she did? She every time she has to, every time she has problem meeting customers' demand, every time she has problem, meeting up supplies and all of that. So you got a 500,000 naira, to, support your business, instead of thinking or putting that resources in a very critical area that will translate into, more positive impact for her business and her customers. She went to buy a car. She added money to the money, bought a car, and branded the car in the name of her business. So to her, people perceiving her business as now having a branded car was more important than even having some of the essential things she will need every other time she needs to meet customer service. Mind you, most of her processes have been manual. She doesn't even have, she doesn't even have an enhanced technology or machinery as at now to meet her customers' demand. So the first thing she did was to go buy a car. She added money to buy a car and then brand it in her business name. That's wasteful, considering that now every week she will need to fuel the car. Every other month or maybe every 2 months, she will have to service the car or she would have to change parts. So you have just added another cash leaking stream to the business that is not yet standing. So there is time for everything. And even when the business is standing, know when to eliminate some unnecessary expenses that you don't need. So don't be wasteful. Cut your cost. Be cost effective as a business. Cut your cost. Be cost effective. Tell your team members, we need to cut cost on this. We need to cut cost on that. It is very important that we do this. I had walked into a bank a few months ago and I was told that they now close by 1:30 p.m. as against 4. And I could understand because most of these banks run on diesel. If we don't want them to shut their doors and one day you come and you can't even have access to your money, it's important that they also cut their cost on fueling or energy. So find ways. There are different ways these things can be done. Look for those opportunities around your business. If you're not sure, you can ask me what you're working on or what you think. So also, it's important that you stock up on critical products that your business needs. Right now, because of the high level of inflation, every money you keep in the bank is devalued. So you cannot continue to leave monies in the bank, think, oh, my business has 5 million on the bank. No, this is a good time to always make sure your business has this very critical input stocked. Put it somewhere, especially if they are non-perishable. Let them be there. Just be looking at it. Put them somewhere in your space. Put them there, so that every time you need them for production, you can reach out and take the quantity you need. So at least this can help you for just cushion a little, on your business for a while. Maybe you'll be surprised. You may have stock that can take you for about 3 or 4 months, instead of having to go to stock up maybe every other, maybe every 2 weeks or every other month. So if you buy it at this time, you'll get it at a good deal because you're certain that the prices may continually go up over time. But if you buy now, it is better to have your business funds in stock. So stock up on your very critical input materials for your business, especially if you're a product-based business. Stock up. If you have a salon, stock up on the things you need to make for your customers over a period of time. If you have a food business, stock up on the constantly demanded products from your customers, stock up on them. Don't leave your monies in the bank because they continually lose value, especially for you as a business. And every time you need to buy those things, you will be feeling the effect because it's like every time you think you have made money, you go back to the market, prices have added, and whatever it is you made, you have added it back again. So it is very important that you do that. So stock up on your very critical product. Then another thing, outsource some secondary functions. There are some things you do in your business that you need to eliminate and then give it to someone who can handle it for you from the outside. You don't have to have all of the units set up in your business. Say, oh, I have this unit, I have that unit. Especially anything you don't use every other day in your business can be outsourced. Or even, let me be fair, any function that don't happen, at least twice in a week in your business can be outsourced. So you may be asking, like what? You may not need you may not need a full-time social media person to come into your business. You may not need that. You can outsource those functions. I can do it for you from outside. Yes, there are people who run such services, things that have to do with your accounting. You're not sure. You may have a cashier, but you may not have an accountant. And as a business that is stable, you may not be able to pay a full-time working accountant. So why not outsource those functions? Have a business lawyer that you pay every time you need their service or their services. So they are just look for, there are areas in your businesses where you can take out, eliminate some of these functions you had over time. Maybe at that time it was good to have them, but now it's a very critical time. So just lean your processes, As most importantly, if it does not directly impact on the value you're creating for your customers, lean your processes, especially in these times of recession. It's a very trying time. So just lean all of those processes. Look for someone that can do it for you and pay them at that time. When you said, like a few days ago, I needed to meet a supply of about 600 bags of rice in one of our food business. We don't have this machine. And what I did was to call someone who came into my business space to do the process for me, to bag those things for me in the quantity the customer wanted. And I paid for that service. But just imagine if I had kept that machine. It's not something that happens every time. Sometimes maybe in 2 months, I may not get such demand. So why would I want to have someone who operates such or have such machines? So these are areas, and common sense application will just help you know where to cut some unnecessary business expenses, especially in these very critical times. Outsource them. If it can be outsourced, outsource it. Yes, many functions can be outsourced. The person is not the one handling the machine of the product, or is not the one handling the sealing of your product. It can be outsourced. The person is not the one collecting the money, can be outsourced. Any other things that don't directly impact on the value you're creating for your customer can be outsourced. That's what I'm trying to say. Laser focus on the very critical areas. So it's important that you don't forget that. And then I also want to say that think about optimizing every resource you have. As you're cutting costs, also think about optimizing your resources. And these resources also involve people. Have conversation with your team. Let them know that right now, times, it's a critical time. You cannot afford, to be idle when you're supposed to be working. You cannot afford, to be wasting the precious time for the business on your personal things. Have this conversation with them that right now the best of their ability and quality of work is expected. Every resources has to be optimized. It's not just financial resources. Even the people who work for you, ensure that people know exactly what their job function is. Ensure that people know exactly in what way they contribute to your business success. So let them know what their deliverables exactly is and why it should be delivered, or provided within the time is expected. So it's very important that every resources in your business is optimized. I'm not saying you should use up people, but be sure that people know what is expected of them or from them, and then they are meeting the required deliverables within the expected time. So don't. I'm just here to let you know that you cannot continue the way you have always been. It's a critical time. A few days ago, I saw that Twitter had laid off some staff. I saw that not just Twitter, a lot of companies were laying off staffs, and it's as a result of the condition we are as in globally right now. Businesses see that this is very important that they begin to adjust how they work, begin to adjust how they deliver their product or their services. And yes, some people may have to go. So in all of this, make sure you are Be strategic in everything that you do as a business. Be very strategic. Don't just complain. Always ask yourself, what can I do now? What can I do differently now? How can I improve on this? So I just thought to put all of this out there, that it is possible to keep our heads above the water, even though the times are very critical. Very, very possible to keep our heads above the water. The times are very critical. So I'll just run down again. I told you to readjust your business services and products. If you need to diversify, if you need to create new markets within your business, look at all of those areas. After you have assess your business completely, your books, look at them, know what is happening. It's not enough to say, oh, how much did we sell today? That's one of the questions people ask about. They ask their salesperson, how much did we sell today? But that's not, you need to know what is happening. You need to know what can be done about your process, about your suppliers, how can be done about your product offering, what can be done about even your profitability. Can it be improved? These things are very, very important. So I talked about comparative negotiation, then how to negotiate with your customers, then how to negotiate with your suppliers, have a pool of them. Don't limit yourself to just one source. I also talked about looking for other alternatives to satisfy your customer needs. If you have to, then do that. If you have to provide some more cost-effective products, often do that. The customers will be happy that you're also thoughtful of them, because as business owners, don't forget that even if you make so much effort, to keep meeting to keep getting your products, even though they are expensive. Have you ever thought about, will my customers still be able to afford this product and pay for them? So find out how you can be at par with your customer. They are the reason for the business. It's not about you, the owner. So make sure you're doing all of those things right. Source for alternatives. There is always a way. There is always a way. That's the mindset I have in business, that there is always a way. It can be better done. It can be better achieved. So I talked about reducing your cost of operation, your cost of business, and focusing on those things that directly translate into the value you bring for your customers. I also spoke about, why you should stock up on critical products for your business. It's not enough to say we have monies in the bank. No, translate all of those monies into material inputs for your business. Translate all of those monies into critical, resources you need to make production. At least this will help you over a period of time, just help you and cushion you as a business and your business, so that you don't always have to deal with increasing prices, as it happens almost every other week or so. So if you have resources, put them in these goods, leave them over a period of time, and then just take from there and use, especially if they are not perishable. I also spoke about strengthening your customer relationship. It's important that you strengthen your relationship with your customers. They are the reason why the business exists. It's not about you and you having a title as the founder or CEO. The customers are the reason for the businesses. Improve on your loyalty programs. Improve on your, your personal relationship with your customers. It is possible. Know who is buying it. Many times I ask our staffs, who is buying this? How does this person buy? When was the last time this person came? Sometimes I may need to even put a call to say, it's been a while we haven't seen you. These things are very important. It is not enough to keep looking out for new customers. That is what a lot of people do. They keep looking out for new customers. They keep putting out the adverts. Of course, that is good, but your already existing customers are very critical for your business survival. So strengthen your relationship with them. It's not about looking for, if you have 100 people who will buy your product and you are certain they will buy from you every month, it is better than looking for 1,000 customers that you don't know where they will come from. And looking out for 1,000 customers every month. New customers of this 1,000. But if you have 100 who will buy from you every month and you are certain they will buy from you, your business will stay afloat, your business will be sustained over time because it is guaranteed. So don't forget that customers are emotional people. They buy into emotions. So build your relationship with them. Ensure that your customers are maximally satisfied and excellent service. Let your team know that you will not take it that customers leave your business space without being satisfied or without their demands properly met. So I think, and then finally, I talked about reducing your waste. Reduce waste across board. I'm not talking about I'm talking about waste in every area. Your resources, how you use your electricity, how you dispose things, anything you use in your business every time. Just know that you don't need a disposable option. Because every time you buy those things and you use them and they are disposed, you have just trashed some money in your business. So look for reusable options. Look for areas where you can, reduce your waste as a business. How you produce, how you use electricity, how you where you even after making things you make in your business, what can be further done with the leftovers? There is always a way. So look for ways to reduce your waste as a business, cut costs and reduce your waste while optimizing every form of resource. So thank you so much for this class. I know some people may not have a convenience at this time and they may need to come and watch this again and again. I'll be happy to read your comments. I'll be happy to answer your questions. So leave them and then you can also share this with your friends and people in business that you think it will help them, also weather the storm. So thank you so much. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please look out for the subscribe button and click. I also want you to like this video. I also want to read your comments. Please don't come here like you sneak and sneak out. So thank you again. My name is Tia Uloma Ashu, only called the Green Conscious Mama. I'm your resource optimizer. So have a good evening. Bye.